Just recently bought this set of Velcro sanding blocks, all different shapes and sizes. Suit various contours. They take the standard Velcro back, about 150mm sanding pads. So I'm just about to attack this area down in here, which is slightly concave. So I'll give that a shot with that, see how it comes out. When I'm doing a lot of filler repairs, like I've got on this bumper, I'll usually work around it, in which case to start off I filled everywhere where I thought I needed it, or to get a start at least. As you can see on this one, I've sanded it back and it's already got another layer of filler on it. That's pretty much hard and ready to go again. I've just sanded this block back. That was the original lot of filler that went in, and it needs a little bit more in there and a little bit around here further, so I'll mix up a set of bog and put that in there now. And while that's drying, I'll come around and start sanding this side. So kind of just to give the bog a decent time to dry, and just move on to a different part and sand it. While you're sanding it, the other stuff's drying out. And most of the time the first lot you put in is never the final lot, especially on a piece like this. So the first one gets it pretty much roughly in shape, and then there's a whole heap of holes in it that still need filling. So just keep working your way around it. So that's all the filler work done on the nose cone now. Just wait for that little bit to dry and then sand it back. Get it in the booth and spray some adhesion promoter on it, then undercoat it. Probably what I'll do is do the primer work on there and sand it back, and then take it off, because I really have to get behind here, because it needs to be undercoated and coloured the same as the rest of the car. It'll make it a bit easier to get into there as well. At least I think once the primer's on and blocked back, I can take it off the car and still get the paint to stick to it, even though it changes its shape once it's off the car. So we're in the booth now and about to put some primer on it. It's got the adhesion promoter on there already, on the bare plastic bits. So I'll get to and turn the fan on and then start spraying. that's the nose cone done in primer, and the it's a polyester spray filler U-pole reface. Just basically spray on bog. Gives a thick surface to sand into anyway. No need to do it everywhere. It doesn't need it in there, just along the face of that bumper. So I'll give that a few days to go off and harden. Got a few other things to do around the place, so I also managed to get that in, undercoat the battery tray at the same time. So I can see lots of sanding in my future. What I did with this time is mixed it up and then put about, I was only guessing it was a splash of acetone, so you can guess about 10%. The last one I did on the bonnet came up a bit orange peely. This here still is, but it's a lot better than the last one was. Using a 3mm tip on the Star spray gun. Started sanding back the nose cone this afternoon. Put a bit of that powder guide coat on there. What I usually do is leave the edges to round off until last. I found a couple of low spots over here, just put a touch of filler in them. Still a few more hours to go yet. Probably give it one really wet coat of primer once it's all finished. I'll actually take it off the card before I do that so I can get at the back of it as well. But for now, while I'm sanding it back, it's easier to leave it on there. It holds its shape as well. It's still working my way through the nose cone. Started sanding it back and put a little bit of filler in where I've needed to. I noticed that along the top there was really quite wavy, so I've thrown a bit of fine filler in there. The best fine filler that I've been able to find is this the Septone Ultra Sand. I tried some U-pole Top Stop Gold once and it was horrible compared with this stuff, so just touching up little bits and pieces that need it. Walling through there is pretty good. Just a touch of the guide coat powder just to see how it's all going. And imagine these things were straight once upon a time, but all this hair in there is a little bit in and out. There's really not much you can do about that. The nose cone's ready to take off now to get ready to paint. Took a fair bit of filler, well, not huge amounts of filler, just a lot of time and filling and sanding to get that top bit as straight as I could. Looks a lot better than it did a few hours ago anyway. Yep, I'll get it off and finish sanding the bits that I haven't done yet under there and behind the corners there. get some primer onto it. Just a thin wet coat of primer just to seal it up. And probably a little bit more on the top there, so I've got a little bit to sand back into. That's the nose cone back in the booth, ready to give it its last primer coat. I'll have to hit it with a bit more of the adhesion promoter first, just in those patches there. So luckily it's been able to use the same stand as what I used for the doors. Haven't had to make anything extra for it, which is good. I'm going to paint the black of it first, so I'm just giving it a quick mask up to save getting too much black paint all over the place. I've used a false edge on the masking paper there, so it's not built up too much of an edge, hopefully. There's the nose cone done with the black section anyway. Actually stuffed up in a couple of places. In the base coat actually, managed to get some runs in that. I waited till that dried, sanded them out, and then just put a little bit more black on it before I went on to the clear coat. The clear coat's got a flattening binder in it. So I've got 60% flattening binder to 40% clear, and then the usual hardener and thinner, so it'll be interesting to see if that flattens down a bit as it cures up. Doesn't look too bad as it is at the moment, so it's not like a full gloss on it there. And I'll let it harden overnight, then I'll take that tape off and tape up the black, and then we can put the yellow on the outside tomorrow. Well, the black on the nose cones flattened off nicely since when I took the photos and video last night. All ready now to tape up so I can paint the yellow on the outside. Took some photos before I started pulling it apart to make sure I could remember where to mask up. And it's fairly straightforward on these ones. Got some fine line masking tape. A couple of different widths here depending on how flexible I need it to be. I'll get to it, then I can attack it with the yellow. Right, well that's it, finished I hope. I've just done a quick unmask while things are still wet to try and keep the lines at the edge of the masking as clean as I can. All in all, hasn't come up too bad. Could have spent days more trying to get it right before it was painted, but plastic being the way it is, it's just a complete pain to try and work. Anyway, time to clean up all the gear, and that'll be enough for today I think.